it's very obvious that a lot of people are mostly only familiar with WWE or the WWE product. Maybe they just started watching AEW, but you can tell within the promos that they're trying to be this character of yesteryears, like when someone had a uh, a job in wrestling, like they were a policeman or they were else. And I don't particularly think that style of promo really works nowadays. I mean, there's always an exception to the rule, but yeah, I think that a lot of promos that are getting over now, a lot of characters that are getting over now, are real people and people that have real things to say. So that's kind of what I want to see more of is people just speaking from the heart and less promo voice. You don't have to talk like this, brother, to like get your point across. A lot of the time, just speaking the way that you talk, because if you're talking like some like Macho Man, and then like someone meets you and they realize that you don't talk like that in real life, then it's like they see through your entire gimmick.
Yeah, we want to we want you to believe in professional wrestling, right? That's what we're trying to do. I think everybody always says, um, you know, talks about kayfabe or whatever the case is. It's dead. It's not dead. It's ruining the business. It isn't ruining the business. But at the end of the day, we still are making people believe what we're doing. That's the way we're bringing them in. Same thing as when you watch a movie, if you believe what they're doing in that movie. That's why you're investing in it, whether it's a TV show, a book, a comic book, or anything like that. So that's what we want to get out of you, and really get that great right. And this is like huge part in professional wrestling. We can go through the entire training and you could be great at training, but if you lack in the promos, then it's going to be really tough for you to get above the mid card, and that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. Not that it can't happen, but if you nail these promos, you can actually lack in the actual in ring wrestling, and you can drive your performance with your promos. And
Yep.
I think that's what everybody gets engaged with. That's where everybody starts. Whether we like professional wrestling, there's somebody that we connected with, in that sense, and that's what we're trying to pull out of everybody here. So, Slice, is there anything that you want to talk to these guys about before we start doing promos? Maybe you've been through all of our online classes with us during these classes. So what are some of the maybe critiques that you can and tips that you can give them right now before we get started today?
I think there's nothing worse than when you just sound generic, when you just sound like a regular person who just got off the street, who's answering questions at like fucking DMV. Like, do you drink? Do you smoke? No, no. Like, you need some range in your emotion, and it has to be consistent. If your character talks one way, he has to talk that way all the time. You know, like you can't have a German accent 1 second and then a fucking Brooklyn accent the next. So you keep everything consistent. Keep your, I mean, your attitude could change based on what your character is going through, but it has to, it all has to, the character has to be an entity that's consistent. You know what I mean? I know you guys don't have your characters. You're trying different things out, but when you speak, make if you don't believe it, then we're not gonna believe it. So just whatever the topic is, make it come from the heart, and just take it seriously. Speak with some conviction as well. Don't just waste your breath. Make it count. Whatever you're saying.
Right. So like, you asking yourself, what are we going to talk about, right? Tell a story in your promo, right? Talk about something that motivates your character, right? If maybe you have to start about what's the origin of your story, of your character, you know. When you don't have the gift of gab, what should you do? This is what Brody taught me, right? So Brody taught Coach. Brody taught me start visually painting a picture with your words. So these are some of the tips that we've gone over when we've done this class two other times. Get into character, right? Bring your aura in the promo. If you have to clear it, and if that's what you got to do what you have to do to really get in that character, right? Just like Boog saying, don't just talk to me normal, like a normal person, right? We want to be larger than life. At the same time, just like what Brody said, we don't that larger than life doesn't mean we have to yell. Maybe that is your character. Okay, maybe that's going to work for you, but that doesn't mean you have to yell. I mean, Jake the Snake never yelled, and he was larger than life. He brings that intensity. He makes you pay attention to him, makes you actually zoom in and listen to him, what he's saying. You know, leave your audience asking what's next. Anticipation is always key. When we're doing these promos, main thing. This is for everybody. Everybody, slow down, slow down, slow down. When you start getting ahead of yourself, that's when you start messing up your words. You start stuttering. You put one word in front of the other before it should come, and it messes up your whole promo, and then you can't get back on track. Take a breath. Take a breath. Same thing we're going to tell you in the ring. Slow down. Slow everything down. Bring the energy, right? Tell me again, you're Jake the Snake, right? Bring that intensity because that intensity is the energy. So you have to get into that character. It's so important, right? We have to have that. We talked about, I told you guys about X-Pac, right? Having that ability, right? We're sitting here, so it's different, right? This is Zoom, but this is probably how it's going to be going in professional wrestling. You're sitting here. What happens when they say, hey, send a promo because we're flying you out to Texas? Well, you're sitting at home and you got to get into character. So you got to figure out what's gonna motivate you to get into that character. What do you have to do? So these are some of the things that you want to start thinking about. Go home lines are so important, right? What's a famous go home line? If you smell what the Rock is cooking, right? Because that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold says so, right? I know some of you guys probably know some of the newer versions of the go home lines, but have a go home line because when you stutter and you're getting too ahead of yourself and you start messing up, you could just let's go ahead and take it home. All right, you gave a 42-second promo instead of a 60-second, but that's okay. We're gonna have Boogie fill in the extra 20 seconds. Not a problem. So these are some of the things that I want you guys to start thinking about and then we'll also add our notes when we get started. So I want you to, it could be a intro promo, call out promo. I specifically probably would think the best would be a intro promo. Let Brody and let Slice know who you are and what your character is all about. We're going to go ahead and go 60 seconds. So that'll be our time limit, 60 seconds on these promos. And then, so what I want everybody to do is start giving me those virtual hands, so I'll know what order everybody is going to go. And remember, sometimes it's easier to go first than it is to go last, and to get yelled at about doing the same thing. So we're all going to be doing this in class. So I got a couple of virtual hands. I got this looks like Sean and Hellman Rose Crown. A couple of Joe Urel's doing it. We got everybody, right? Remember, when we're asking you to jump in that fucking ring, the same way we're doing it right now, raise your hand, raise those virtual hands. No coach wants to see everybody look to the right and left. We want to see you just jump in the ring. Why are you here? Why are you here? All right, so we're gonna start. I'll time you. We'll go at it. It looks like it's gonna be Austin, Sean, and Joe are the first three. So prepare for that. We'll go 60 seconds, and then we'll go to Slice, and we'll go to Brody on the critiques. So let me just get my time ready here. All right, Austin, are you ready, my friend?
Always ready.
All right, Hellman, here we go. Austin, Sean, and then Joe. Okay, here we go in 3, 2.
It's coming. And it spells the end for you. Who are you? Brody King? Slice Boogie? Joey Chaos? It really doesn't matter at this point because it is inevitable. I am the imminent threat. I'm Hellman Rosecrown. But when I call upon it, the Phoenix Vulture, the War Devil, it does all the bidding and it does all the burning. So when the rubble is settled and the dust clears, will you survive extinction? say no more. For those will be your famous last words.
All right, 50 seconds. 50 seconds on that one. I want to say we have a Bray Wyatt Fiend character here, right? Is that
Right.
what?
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Fiend, or you could say Finn Balor.
Right off the bat, I'm going to say very tough, because it makes me want to say, oh, you're a Finn Balor or a
It's
Bray
saturated
Wyatt.
market. Yeah, it's saturated. I have
Right.
some spins on it that when people have asked me, they say, "Oh, I've never heard that before," because it's supposed to be like a deep fake from the internet. I'm basically supposed to steal. I'm everything. It is everywhere. It's nothing. It's in all of us. I mean, it's like Hellman's just a victim of his own circumstance. He's me. He's just a.
It can work. I mean, there was like 8 Road Warrior characters, right? There was Demolition, there was a Barbarian and the Warlord, there was the Road Warriors, there was the Blade Runners. I think even Diesel was a painted face kind of a wrestler. It can work. It is going to be going up either way would be going up a hill battle. But let's get Brody's take. What did you think of the promo? What are some of your thoughts, Brody?
I thought that your words were fine. I didn't particularly like your voice. Not to say that you have a bad voice, but like as far as if you're trying to be like a threatening character, you need to have levels to your voice. Like your inflection needs to be different at all times. Like usually when I'm starting out a promo, I'll get really gravelly and low with my voice. So I drop it down like this, and then I'll talk really low. It's like, my name is Brody King. And then when it gets higher and you're more excited, you talk like this. And then when you start to get mad, you go higher and higher. And then it's like, so it ranges
Levels.
down. And you need to have that like that oomph like coming out of you. But like Chaos said, it's really, really hard if you're basing, like, you don't want to have to explain to people that your character is not the Fiend or Bray Wyatt, or
Right.
you want them to be like, oh, I've never seen this before, or where is this going? You don't want to have to be like, well, you see, it's kind of like this, but like not really like this. Like you want it to be,
Unique.
Yeah, you want it to be different. So just think about that. Like maybe it's not like another entity. Maybe it's just you. Like it is you.
Right. That is true. I mean, I haven't obviously fleshed it out completely, but there are some inspirations like Green Goblin, certain things like that. But yeah, clearly the character could go in any direction at this point.
Well, okay, so in that sense, then Hellman needs to be more normal and not so aggressive. And then like, the Green Goblin voice is drastically different than Norman Osborn's. Like Norman Osborn is a businessman, and then the Green Goblin has that like witchy, high-pitched voice. So you need to find that weird in between. Like if it is so much different than Hellman, then it needs to be completely separate.
Got it. All right. I'll try to work on that for sure. Yeah.
It also, this is like a difficult character because, I mean, it is and it isn't. So I'm going to use my friend Danhausen. Do you know who Danhausen is?
All right. I feel guilty because I'm not knowledgeable, but I know who he is. I'm not familiar with his work.
Okay, so if I could give you any of you guys advice, if you want to be a heavy character, look up Danhausen, look up Warhorse. These are two guys that are like completely lost in their gimmick. They, Danhausen is from hell, and he is a demon that is however old. All of his stats are Kane's stats, and like he's a heavy comedy gimmick, but like he never breaks character. You never meet Donovan, which is his real name. You just know Danhausen, and that is how he sold himself. So a character like yours, it takes a lot of production value to be able to explain to people that, Hellman and it are different, and this is why they're different. And whoever comes to the ring, they have to be able to distinguish. And it's hard on the independents when you're debuting for a company to expect them to know the difference between the two, if that makes sense.
It totally does. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of why I tried to make it a mask character, but that's, like you said, not that unique. Everything's been done, but you got to try to do it again somehow.
But just
Different.
make it unique. I would definitely pull more from comic books than wrestling, because wrestling is boring.
Thank you. Slice, what are some of your thoughts on Hellman's
My issue right now is
promo?
it is one thing. Then we have Hellman. Then you said Phoenix Devil, Phoenix Vulture, and War Devil. So like that's 4 entities, 4 characters. I don't know if one is just a move or one of them is a nickname or a moniker, but it's like focus on the character first. You're focusing on 4 fucking characters. We don't even know who the first one is. Like Hellman, what's Hellman's origin? You know, this Hellman, like we don't know. There's too many characters to keep track of, and you haven't even, I don't want to say got one over, but you haven't even established one for us to be like, okay, we know that guy. We have an idea of who he is. No, you have like four things going on at once. And it's like, don't get ahead of yourself until you establish one guy for us to keep track of. Trying to debut 2 characters at once, it's like it's too much. I thought the delivery was cool. You have some intensity, your face, but it was the same level.
Yeah, your eyes and your body movements tell a different story than your voice does.
But then also, I feel like the style of I feel like everyone who tries to be a scary character is always just doing the same. It's coming. I'm coming for you. It's not going to be pretty. Like,
I could just straight yell at you like you're my girlfriend and you didn't do shit all day and I've been working and fucking paying the bills, but then I'll be
that could be Hellman. That could be Hellman.
Yeah.
And then maybe something happens where now a scary guy comes out.
Yeah, Hellman is frustrated and sick of his life, and then it is like, all right, my turn.
Like, yeah, there has to be, I mean, consistency. Like he mentioned Danhausen. Danhausen is the same character all day, all night, and he's saying these little quirks. He's like, oh, well, I have to, and it's like, it's weird, but it's always consistent. So you laugh at the little things he says because it is the character. Whereas if you're just gonna be, I'm gonna be a scary guy who's coming for you, and there's no creativity. We all want our characters should be able to make someone, technically laugh, cry, a range of emotions. Whereas if you're just trying to be scary guy all day, but you're not scary, it's gonna be hard.
I'll say this. I was trying, because I know I'm not a big, scary, intimidating guy. I was trying to go more like and again, more catchphrases and monikers. Well-spoken and thought-provoking. It all started because I wanted to be the existential threat, because all I was doing is watching videos about how we're all going to die one day and shit like that. So I want to be like, well, maybe everyone's talking about beating people up. Maybe I can't beat them up, but they can't survive death. I'll just go in there and die, What are they going to do if I die? I don't know. Stupid shit.
I would focus on getting, like Sly said, less is more. All right, let's focus on getting that one character over. If that's the storyline that you want to do, that would focus on getting that, and then trying to go into the dynamic of the other characters. So let's try to get a hold of that first. This is right here. This is like less is more. Perfect example right here. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Could I say something?
Oh, you got something, man? Let's say something, brother. Hey, you know this guy, Brody?
Yeah, he said when the dust settles and the smoke is cleared. That's what stood out from the promo, and every old wrestler always says that. So stay away from like the monikers, the old timing stuff.
Cliches, yeah.
Yeah, noticed that. So.
Oh shit, Hyde's giving fucking notes on promos.
Hey, you know that guy, Brody? All right, we got Sean, Joe, and Kristen coming up next. We're gonna go with Sean. Are you ready, my friend?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, here we go. You know what? I got, Bob, Coach Bob's coming in. All right, here we go. I'm gonna count you down, Sean, in 3, 2.
Greetings, potential grapplers at the Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy. My name is Sean Singh. And you know what? I think it's pretty cute. I've been hearing a lot of these promos about how you guys want to be a professional wrestler. I think it's just cute, because every day I've been perfecting my craft. Every day I've been working towards my goals. Every day I've been working to be a better man. While you guys are too busy playing Fortnite and video games, I've actually been working my ass off every day. What have you guys done? You guys have done nothing. Every day I've committed myself to being a better man, a high value man, and I strive to be a world champion one day. And one day I will be a world champion because I believe in myself. I believe in myself every day, no matter what. So while you guys are too busy sleeping, while you guys are too busy eating burgers and drinking milkshakes, I am working to be the best version of myself because I believe in myself. I believe that no matter what, I can do whatever it is that I want.
All right, Sean. First thing I'm gonna say right off the bat: facial expression and eyes. Make what you're saying does not match your facial expression and eyes. Totally slow down, and then I want to say your voice didn't grab my attention until 20 seconds. It felt a little bit more emotional. It felt like you were passionate about what you were saying about 20 seconds. It was like you were calling, what has anyone else done? The first 20 seconds you seemed very, very nervous and just trying to get the words out. Um, kind of kind of a, I would say, too much of a regular person. In this world of professional wrestling, everything is larger than life. Brody, what are your thoughts on this promo from Sean?
So I don't believe that you believe in yourself. Just from that promo, it was very rushed. I don't think you even said your name. If you did, I didn't remember it. I don't like that you started with like greetings, Santino brothers and fellow grapplers or whatever the word was. It was too formal to then go into like, you're a bunch of pieces of shit. It like if you're gonna tell me that I'm a piece of shit, you need to like affect me, because otherwise you just sound like someone complaining. I'm like, okay, all right, calm down. Like, what's wrong? What's the problem here? Like when MJF is telling you that you're a piece of shit, you want to reach through the fucking TV screen and choke him to death. I don't know if you guys are familiar with MJF. He's on AEW now. He, in my opinion, is one of the best at that currently, tearing people down, being an asshole. Who, another person that just heavily lives the gimmick. Max, the person, is a very insecure, guy that is always worried that he's doing the right thing. But MJF, the person, he will never meet a fan, and you will never know that he's not that guy. He signs autographs to the wrong names. He puts, a scribble mark where his name is supposed to go. He literally just pretends like he does not give a fuck about you or anything that you care about. And it seems like that's kind of what you want to be. You want to be a guy that is training harder, working harder than everyone else, and you want the recognition for it. At least that's what your words just came across to me. You rephrased the same sentences a few times, which just leads me to believe that you didn't really know what you wanted to say, or it was just kind of getting a little jumbled up. At that point, just slow it down. That's where like kind of rushing through it goes wrong. You've already forgotten what you said before, because you said that we were playing video games, and then you said we were eating fast food. Both points are kind of the same within the same promo. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What do you want out of your character? Like, who do you want to be?
I would say kind of like a douchebag, but at the end of the day, he is a person that works harder than like everybody else. But like I guess he's kind of like an asshole about it. Like he's not humble like The Rock. Like The Rock says, you know what? Like be always the hardest
The
worker
Rock
in the
was not
room.
humble. At what point did you think The Rock was humble?
I mean, like nowadays he is like if you
Yeah,
go into
now he is.
yeah.
But if you watch him in like his prime in the WWE, he was the most arrogant person in the room. Do you speak Farsi or anything like that?
I don't.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of ways to like make you stand out from, just being someone that works hard. That's kind of what you need to find is that like what makes you better than everyone else? Why are you better than everyone else? Because there's going to be a lot of people that work hard. There's going to be a lot of people that deserve to have an opportunity, but why do you deserve it more than the other person? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Mhm.
Thank you, Brody. Slice, what are your thoughts on this promo? And then we'll get Coach Bob's also if he
I
saw it.
thought you. I
Slice.
think you might have said every day like 14 times, and like none of them. I didn't believe any of them. You know what I mean? Even if you have to lie during your promo, lie. Every day I've been working hard. You see these guns? You see this abs? I'm ripped to the bone. I'll show you. No, I'm not gonna show. Something like bullshit people. Because when you bullshit people, they if you're coming from a perspective where you're trying to fool us and you like and you believe it, or it's like almost like a mind fuck. You just have to think of something that'll pique our interest. Someone saying they work hard every day, this and that, burgers, this and I'm sure like the best looking guy in the world could drink a milkshake and eat a burger once a week and still
Yeah, his
look
name's
crazy.
Slice Boogie.
Yeah, yeah, like and you just need, I think, just come up with something different. And you were just talking like a regular dude. Every day I work hard and I'm better than everyone. And one day I'll be a champion because I work hard. That's like generic 101. That's like the worst thing you can say. I would rather you would just call somebody out and say what you're gonna do to them. We need some creativity because like that you just gave us the most generic promo. Whereas like maybe Hellman Rosecrown is trying to do too much. You did way too little to establish some type of character that's a little different. It's hard to come up. Wrestling's been around, comics, TV. It's hard to come up with a completely unique character. I'm not the first New Yorker out there. Brody's not the first big man, like fucking tattooed guy out there with a beard who's scary. Like, but we put your own spin on it. You know what I mean? So find something to put your own spin on. Because working hard and wanting to be champion, we've heard that a billion times. Fuck a million, a billion times. And work on a different voice. Work on an attitude. The Rock had attitude. He had his own. He would make up his own little phrases. And does that mean he was the best wrestler in the world? No, the hardest worker. Nah, he just had a different way of spinning things. So I think everyone has to try to come up with some creativity, something new.
Right. And how can you be creative? Right. Just like what Slice said, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. I mean, that's what pro wrestlers do. That's what pro wrestlers do. Don't plan your promo out word for word. Have a beginning, just like we talked about the matches, have a beginning, middle, and end. Know where you're going to start, know where you're going, know where you're going to end, and learn to improvise on these promos. So
Joey, can I make a
absolutely.
So I kind of disagree with not writing out word for word promos. When it comes to like big promos, like when I had a promo going into Final Battle, I had like a big piece of like, and I had a lot of stuff going on. I had like a lot of different shots, and I kind of wrote like a script for what I was gonna say. Of course, I kind of like arrange the words to be make sense in certain places, but I've written mini promos and that works for me better. I know everyone's different. A lot of people are good at just going off the fly. Unless it's like a basic promo, that's not really my style of doing it. I like to be more, I guess, theatrical about it. Listen, this is maybe my biggest criticism with watching all of your guys' promos is that all of us, you're doing it right now. You literally have a computer in your pocket. Everyone that has an iPhone can download iMovie and they can literally make their own movie at home. You can do a lot of visual effects for really cheap, if not for free, with different apps. So there's not really an excuse to have like a, sitting in your car promo, in my opinion. That's all I got.
I totally feel when you write these promos down, it totally will help you. And I believe that when you do that a couple of times, Brody, it's going to start coming to you. Or what these great points that you wrote down, it'll just start now be part of your promo. So I that's going to be a great idea. I think you'll come to that point where you won't have to write them anymore.
Yeah,
you really feel it and say it because you're getting that gift.
because there was times where like I would do a promo and then afterwards you're like, oh fuck, and like you come up with these like really great lines. Whereas if you write it out, you kind of have a moment to like look it over and be like, oh, I can say this better, or I can say it like this. And like if you have like a little joke to throw in there, obviously if you're riffing off of somebody else, if you're in a live show and you're going against somebody else, you have to be off the cuff and like just give it to them. But if you're really trying to establish yourself and your character, I do think that maybe writing a script is, kind of, it might be good for you. Everyone's different though.
Practice that script where you're not even reading it, right? So it's now just coming from the heart. If you leave 3 lines out from that script, you leave 3 lines out, but you got your point, right? Because don't let it, I guess that's my major thing is don't let that word for word, it'll throw you off a little bit. So just you gotta really keep hitting these promos and practicing them.
You don't want to look like you're thinking about it.
Yes, feeling. You want
Coach Joey.
Yes, Bob. Did you watch this? Did you watch Sean's? You didn't get a chance.
Brody, it's been a minute. I feel like you and I are having a beard contest right now, which is nice. And I like that you have the opposite streak of my points. So that's nice. I like this. So yeah, I'm on it. We'll have to have a measure and be like the Brody versus Halston thing. Good to see you, Slice Boogie. Hello. We just saw each other yesterday.
I just saw you like 10 hours ago. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God, dude. We didn't get, dude, that was a 14-hour day for me. We didn't get out of that building until 9:30, taking down that ring. There was 4 of us, 5 of us. Fuck. All right. So anyway, long day.
Yeah,
but yeah,
definitely.
I want to tap into what Slice Boogie said and what Brody said. Slice Boogie was nailing it on the head, is that you're a pitch man. You're selling the drama. What I talked about last week is you're selling your story. You're selling you're selling what, like, you're creating this like thing. And it's what he was talking about. You're bringing that confidence out to convince people of what you're saying is real, right? It's magicianship. If I point over there and say, look over there, there's something over there, nothing really is going over there. It's like you're just convincing everybody to like, yes, kill, right? You're bringing that emotion out with what your character needs. You've got to believe in yourself. That's the thing about all that character slice development I talked about last week, is just trying to dig deep and find a piece of you to like latch onto and be like, how do I build on that? And how do I sell that to people? But it's all within. And then what Brady was saying about like writing it out, year one, or actually I'd say out of my 9 years stand-up comedy career, I'd say it took about 3.5 to 4 years before I stopped writing out my entire jokes word for word. I had stacks of spiral notebooks and I'd write it all out and I'd read it out loud to see how I could put because again, when you do stand-up comedy, any stand-up comic just doesn't read things and go, so I went to the grocery store the other day and then my friend said this and then they said this and this, boom, next joke. All right, next joke. Da, 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 da. They pause and they give emphasis to let the words breathe, and there's punch to certain things to give it emphasis. So that's why if you take the time, if you need to write things out, do it. I've done it for wrestling promos. I still write things out sometimes when I'm like, what can I edit out of this? When I look at it and say it out loud, it's like what we do in customer service. Before we write a chat or we write an email, you write it out, you read it out loud to make sure it sounds right and it's not too abrasive, to this, right? There's a tone check in customer support emails. If anybody's ever written a customer support email ever in their life, or read one or received one, there's a tone to that. They don't want to be abrasive. They don't want to be, they're very friendly. I mean, there's tone. So if you need to write it out, as rookies, I mean, I'm still doing it. Sometimes I'll just sit there, write it out and be like, what am I missing in the words, and looking at things. And sometimes I'll catch myself writing the same thing 3 times. Like, you said, if you say it, what Slice Boogie said, where he caught in the promo, how you said the same thing 3 times, they become crutches when you're just trying to think of what you're supposed to say. So
I think also, like, I know that Enzo Amore had said that he had like books and books of promos written for like any occasion, to where like if they're like, hey, do you have a promo about this? He's like, yeah, hang on. And like he just had one like in his phone or whatever. He just had notes and notes and notes. And he might be a terrible wrestler or a shit human or whatever you want to call him, but that man can cut a promo like no one else. And so, that style definitely works for a lot of people.
I think that's a great point of, right, how great of a wrestler is he when that 205 live, he or even that belt that he was holding, man, that was his promos. There was a lot of great wrestlers. There was wrestle circles around him, but they couldn't cut promos like him, and he was really good. He is really good at doing that. And so, yes, I would do it. I would read those promos, know them like the back here, and I think that's a great idea. You flip me, Brody. You flip me. I think it's a great idea, because I say that about the wrestling. Have a list of cutoffs. Have a list of heat. Have a list of working the arm or whatever. So when your brain fries, go to that book and open it up. So, man, why wouldn't you have it for the promos? It makes sense.
You can send it to your peers that you respect and that maybe are a good promo. Like, I'm very fortunate that I am good friends with Eddie Kingston, and I can send my promo to him and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And he'll kind of like send me back his version of it, and then I kind of like riff it with what I feel like I would say. So, it works in various forms. And I think that, great art is not a singular thing. It is a collaborative effort. So like, if you can have all of these different minds looking at it and contributing to it, then it's only going to make it better.
Thank you, Brody. Thank you, Bob. All right, continuing on, we got Joe, Kristen, Jack coming up next. Starting with Joe. I'll count you down. All right, you ready, Joe? Here we go in 3, 2.
I'm Joe Urell. And, I want to be an advocate because throughout my 34-year life, I've always been an advocate for myself in this wheelchair. When they told me I was too retarded to go to college, I got a master's degree. When they said, Joe, you can't talk, within 6 years, I became one of the most talked about comedians and getting on Comedy Central with the Roast Battle. And now I'm here to bring my brand of verbal violence to the wrestling industry to get my due and proper. And if verbal violence doesn't work, I got plenty of backup with this. Because you see, even though I'm crippled, I ain't lame.
All right, 50 seconds, Joe. Joe, I gotta say, man, it was my always issue with you going in. You're running through these promos, and I think this is your best paced promo that you've delivered. I know you were in the other class with me. I know you've done promos here. It seemed that there was times, I think about 34 seconds, you were rushing a little bit, then you kind of paced yourself out. So at least we're getting that pacing down, and I really appreciate you working on that to kind of get to there. Let's start with Brody. Brody, what did you think of Joe's promo?
Joe, yeah, I've actually seen a few of your promos in the Facebook group, and like Chaos was saying, a lot of them were very fast. And because of your disability, I feel like it is going to be harder for people to understand you. So the slower you go, obviously you don't have to go in slow motion, but the more spaced out your words are, the more impact it'll give on people. I do love the verbal violence moniker. Uh, I think that you have a lot to work with there. And then I couldn't see what you were holding up was like a cattle prod or something at the end.
It's still lately. It's still
Okay.
lately. It's a club.
Okay, well,
You know what? You know what I think, Joe? What made this promo better this time than your other ones is, I think you try to hit all these one liners like in 60 seconds. You're trying to hit like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 one liners, and I think here, I don't know if you even try to hit one. Either if you did, it just came off very natural this time. And I think that was better than you trying to fit everything that sounds cool to you and put it in one promo. Less is more. I thought it worked there. I'm
no,
sorry, Brody. Go
yeah, I
ahead.
mean, I thought that you have a bunch of stuff that you can work on. I do like the club, like, you know, if I can't beat you verbally, then I got some backup, and then you hold up the club, stuff like that. You said you were on Roast Battle. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're good at roasting people, then that is like the best way to get a crowd over. You know, if you leave someone speechless, then it's game over. But I enjoyed your promo.
Thank you, Brody.
Thank you.
Slice, what did you think?
I thought the beginning, I mean, I know you want to get all this stuff across, and I thought the beginning where you're like, I want to be an advocate because this and this and that. I thought that was a waste. I don't even think it was needed. Whereas it would have been more effective if you said, when they said I was dumb, guess what? You could have took a breath, let it sink in. I got a master's degree. When they said I couldn't do this, I did that. You know, where as opposed to you were saying, you were giving it to us. It was too much information, to almost too much to process. Your accomplishments shouldn't be rushed through.
Yeah.
Like, I was on Comedy Central. Like, where were you? Were you even on public access? You know what I mean? Give us a little bit of that roast. If you have the ability to roast the guy, whoever's watching it, roast them a little. Why not? You're already threatening to beat us up with a fucking billy club. Roast us, roast whoever's watching it, because whoever's watching it, you feel like they doubted you. You know what I mean? You're trying to prove us wrong with your promo. So it's okay to not agree with whoever's watching the promo. You don't have to be best friends. You're not coming across as a face anyway. If you wanna, you know what I mean, threaten us with verbal violence and billy club violence. Just take your time with it. If you have a disability, if it's hard to speak, you don't have to rush. You know what I mean? You're getting your words out. Let us digest them. You know what I mean? Let us digest what you're saying. But I thought the idea is good that you're getting your accomplishments across. I like the promo. I just thought the beginning where I want to be an advocate. I thought that was unnecessary, just from like a storyline perspective.
I think it's unnecessary also just because you're going to be an advocate anyways, like just for being on TV or having a disability and, like, you know, kind of persevering through your struggles. You're already an advocate. You want to be that because you're already that. Like Splice said, yeah, just, you know, they said I was retarded. Well, guess what? I got a master's degree. They said that, you know, I couldn't fight, then I roasted your ass on Comedy Central, whatever. Like, you have a lot of ammo and just use it.
Bob.
Hello. So yes, yeah, what they said about slowing down, because you have such an opportunity to make those impactful words mean something if you give them breath at the end of those moments, and mixing with this whole level of how you're like what Boogie said about that I want to be or I'm going to be. So guess what? You all have permission to be. You are it now. So no longer doing the job interview or the audition to be that character, right? So no longer saying, I want to be this thing. You are this thing now. Okay, so that will hopefully help you get past that sort of like, I'm here to do, I want to be. So just do it and be it. right? You're already champion in your head, right? You're already that character. So maybe that'll help with that. But yeah, less is more, and give that, somebody who's a roaster, as you said, if you're a roaster, you lean into that and create that as part of just talking. Like that's, you're just talking that you're that person. It'll work. It'll get there. Everyone's gonna eventually own their character, and some have already, and some are getting there. They're just gonna turn that corner. I know it.
Yes. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Yeah, Joe. So yeah, hey, less is more. Perfect on that. Don't try to get all your liners in there at once. I think this was a better, probably your best promo that I've seen, slowing down
Thank
pacing
you,
and everything.
everyone.
Thank you, Joe. Welcome, Joe. All right, we got Kristen, Jack, and Joshua coming up next. Starting with Kristen. You ready?
All right,
All
let's do this.
Okay, here we go. I'll count you down in 3, 2.
Hello, kitties, young and old. This is your dear old Auntie Heidi. Now, who am I, you might say? Well, I guess you could say I was a protector of a young girl, but now I'm a free agent. And in this lovely world of violence, I can thrive. And I make sure that everyone remembers me. I've even played nice, even though I'm quite terrible at it. I've made bloody cookies for all the lovely girls and boys. But no matter what, I like showing my opponents that I am the shrieking that echoes in the halls, the eyes that stare in the dark. And I will make sure that no matter who crosses my path, they will remember my name.
59 seconds on that one. With the laugh, yeah, I think you were done at probably at 54 seconds, but you dragged that laugh out. That really made it. No, I thought it was. I like the pacing of it. I like that you stood in character. You didn't lose the accent whatsoever. I thought, Brody, what did you think of Kristen's promo?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have a pretty good idea of what your character is and who you want it to be, and yeah, honestly, like I thought it was good. I could see you thinking about what you were going to say next a little bit, and I think that it could have been a little bit more. If you slowed it down at a couple points and like kind of hit like a couple punchlines in it, I think it would have been a little bit more effective and a little bit creepier and darker.
More punchlines, you said?
Yeah, like you I think like if you were to say something and then like I think the punchline could have been like, well, I made bloody cookies for all the girls and boys. Like you have this like British accent, but that can also be like a double entendre. Like, is there blood in the cookies or are they bloody cookies? It's kind of like it could be more creepy the way that you deliver it. But I think that you're on track with your character.
Yeah, I mean the character is really engaging. You grab my attention right away through it. It doesn't sound like you're doing an accent to me at all. It sounds very natural. And everything that you're saying, I like the story that you're telling, and I even like the added in the background, where you have the papers in the back. So I thought it's really good. You're on point with your character. Slice, what did you think?
I feel like I've never heard you not speak with that accent. So it's like it's just so believable when like the voice and it's consistent. You never let it get away from you. And also I like the words that you use, like instead of I don't know, you use the word shrieking. I feel like your vocabulary matches that of a scary book. You know what I mean? Like H.P. Lovecraft, maybe not Stephen King, but it matches. Well, I'm not gonna say, oh, I heard this woman shrieking down the hall. No, like my character, yeah, I heard this bitch yelling mad loud. Not to, you know what I mean? I feel like your verbiage always matches your character. It's really good. I don't know. It's just convincing, consistent. Maybe it felt like you didn't lose yourself, but you were thinking of what to say. Like maybe you could make it a little more menacing. Like you said, I made these bloody cookies for them. Oh, they didn't know there was blood in them. You know what I mean? Something a little more sinister. But overall I liked it. Like I like characters that I can believe that are consistent day to day. I've never seen you act like this character where I was like, she's just playing the character. She's not believable. It's always consistent. So those are my 2 cents.
Thank you, Slice. Thank you, Bob. Baba Shah.
Oh, Heidi, listen. The as far as the promo itself, the only thing that I really was like, is about the pacing, the slowing down to give things more breath. You ran through your name in the beginning, and you never gave it to, like, it was like you went Auntie Heidi, didn't you? Like went right, but you kind of like breezed through it. So if you were able to slow yourself down a little bit or edit something out and give Auntie Heidi a little bit more, because you're selling yourself. But I literally, if we watch this back, you just like rip through your name and move to the next sentence right away. I was like, that was the moment. And you did this amazing, I don't know if it was accidental on purpose, but you did this amazing hair flip, which could have been a moment to pause, like, and stare at the camera for a second. Like, I didn't know if you did it on purpose or not, but you literally went like this, like that whole side of your head, like flat. I was like, oh, that would have been great if you would have just went like taking a moment. But yeah, and one thing I was noticing too about you have the character, you know how to speak like it. What I feel like you might want to play with is volumes, so that it doesn't just become one. Hi, I love keep the nervous energy, because that's what I love about that character. There's a nervousness. You're not scared. You're not speaking like you're scared. It's like you're just like, hey, like there's this sort of freneticness about that voice. Keep that, but study Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Show, because he basically, when he talks like this, he's very slow paced and come with me, master. But when he gets really angry, he's like, like he gets real freaked out. So there's like this volume shift, and it's like, it could play with, just play with that, or start toying around with that. It'll give you some, depth to your words.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. All right, let's go here. Moving along. Who did I say was next? Jack?
That's me. Yeah.
All right. Jack is going to be next. Jack, Joshua, and Philip, Living Zed are coming up next. All right, Jack, here we go. I'm going to count you down in 3, 2.
My name's Jack Farmer, and I got into the wrestling business as a broadcaster and an interviewer, and it should have been a dream come true. But it's been a living hell, because every single person I've talked to, every wrestler I've interviewed has tried to bully me and intimidate me. And that goes for people like you, Slice Boogie. Well, guess what? It ends now, because I'm not going to be like every other interviewer that gets pushed around his entire life. And if that means I have to get your big ass in the ring and slap you around, so be it. You may be bigger than me, you may be stronger than me, but every time you knock me down, I am going to get back up, because win, lose, or draw, so help me God, you will respect me.
All right, Jack, 48 seconds.
A little short.
Not bad at all. I want to say I liked what you were saying. I believed what you were saying. I was watching your eyes, and I don't think I want them to match more. I want to see more emotion in your eyes when you're speaking. And I think that's going to be my biggest takeaway on this one. I thought it was a really good call out promo. Still not changing it to you're a wrestler, saying, hey, I'm still an interviewer, but I'm not going to be pushed around, right? I'm not going to be that guy like Michael Cole and get the jersey thrown over my head. So I like the story that you were telling. I thought it was really good. My biggest takeaway is going to be the eyes matching your voice, matching what you're saying, because your eyes are going to now change your facial expressions to match what you're saying.
For sure.
So that would be my biggest take on that. Uh, Brody, what did you think?
Uh, my first thought is that a photo of me taking a double stomp by Shane Strickland behind you.
You know, it might be actually. I thought this was Artemis, but yeah, it is. It's Defy. Yeah, it's Shane Strickland. Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was. Who is it? Oh no, that's Artemis. Spencer.
Artemis. Yeah, that's what. I thought it was Artemis, but if it was you, I wasn't going to question if it was you that got stomped in the face. So.
Yeah, I thought that your inflection was really great. Your voice is really great. Your timing is really good. I think that I would have really liked a little bit more confidence in the beginning. I think that if you like where have you announced where have you worked?
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood in prime time.
So if you were like, hi, my name is Jack Farmer, and you might recognize me as the, in arena host or whatever, the announcer for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and Primetime Live. And while I command respect from the announcing booth, it's been a little bit different with the wrestlers. And then you kind of like present yourself as a professional, and this is what I do, and this is what I'm not going to do anymore. I'm not going to take the bullshit from you people that are, I'm trying to put you guys over, and all you do is disrespect me. For sure. I think that if you would have positioned yourself as more of like a figure, like I am your peer, I'm not your lackey, that kind of deal.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really have nothing else. I thought it was really good.
I agree with Brody on that. The pacing, the timing. You didn't seem nervous at all whatsoever. It's always been good about you, Jack, that you're not nervous. You don't show that you're nervous. Slice, he was calling you out, my friend. What did you think of this promo?
I ain't do anything to this guy. What the fuck is going on over here? That's not me, Papa. No, I thought the energy was good. You speak like a professional. It's very clear. Like you could be calling a football game on NBC, and it would be like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. But you don't want to be also, I guess you're not a wrestler, but you don't want to be 100% generic announcer. You're speaking up for yourself. Maybe give us a little bit of bullshit type of something. Like, I knocked the kid out in 5th grade, or I took karate for a month. Give us one little tidbit of information that could add multiple layers to your character, to you as an entity. If you took karate for 1 month, maybe if we do have a blow-off match, you try to hit me with a kick or a chop. I told you. You know what I mean? Just like always try to think of some type of something that could add layers. Because right now you're an announcer, you're pissed off, you're not gonna take it anymore. But who's to say that you're not gonna get fucked up?
Right.
You're gonna say you're not gonna get fucked up, but give us a little extra. Other than that, I thought it was good. It was like there's no way you can't understand what you were getting. Your point was you brought your point across. There's nothing else that could be said. A little bit of trivia, a little bit of character sprinkled in there, but I thought it was fine. It was good.
There's a match. I think it was 2019, and it was Ring of Honor. Now I can't remember what the show's called. I think it's called like Uncensored or something unsomething. I'll try to figure it out and I'll send it to the group. But it was basically like Colt Cabana was able to book the whole show, and in the show there was a 10-man tag match, and it was like Gary Jester, who's like a 70-year-old man and it was a promoter. It was Ian Riccaboni, who's the announcer for Ring of Honor, and it was just like, and Colt Cabana and like somebody else. I forgot who the 4th person was. Oh, Todd Sinclair, the ref. And then it was versus Shane Taylor and his 2 guys versus Brian Johnson. And then Shane Taylor decided, I'm not doing this. And then it was Brian Johnson versus 4 guys, which he then cut this huge promo talking shit about how like these guys are not wrestlers and I'm going to wipe the floor with them. And it really like gave a moment for all of these guys to like really have these like great payoffs. Like Ian Riccaboni is like, he's the voice of wrestling, everyone, and he's kind of like a goofy kind of guy, has this like 50s voice, but he's a really great announcer. And there was a moment where Colt bumped Brian and he was kind of beating him up, and then Ian like started to fire up, and he did like the Ultimate Warrior rope shake, and then he climbed up to the top and hit like a huge Macho Man like elbow drop, and like the place went insane, and like the internet blew up about it, because it's like when you finally get that payoff, like when you finally like, this is my chance to like show you why I don't need to be disrespected, like that's when you get your comeuppance. And I think that's what Slice was saying, like give them that like tidbit that they can like think about, like, yeah, I did karate for a month and a half when I was in 4th grade, and it's like, this is, you know, and eventually you get to show that what you learned, you karate chop them in the head or whatever. Like I think that's a really great note to give them a little bit at a time.
Yeah, 100%.
Bob.
Yeah, I loved it. You know what, the minute I about 10, 15 seconds in, I was like, I got total Mike Tenay vibes. And I was drawn in that way, where I felt they're on that cusp of, I feel like that could have been the pivot, is you start giving off your credentials. Like, I'm a broadcast professional who studied at this and graduated this, and I worked in broadcast this, comma, but I am not here to fuck around. Slice Boogie, you put your hands, you know what I mean? Like, you come off as like, it's almost like the weatherman turns like, you want to go down? You know what I mean? Like, you get that? Like, you have this professional voice, and Mike Tenay is the, you know, the what was his nickname?
The professor.
The professor, right? Why would the professors fucking start throwing hands? But that's halfway through your promo, or 25 seconds of your promo, you comma, and you're like, but I am not here. Like, you're like, I'm not, you know, Slice Boogie, I've had enough of your shit. Boom. And that's when everyone's like, oh fuck, what the fuck? So yeah, think about it that way. Keep that professionalism. And I'm actually a professional broadcaster. I'm not, you know, it's not what I'm here for, sir. That's kind of it's kind of what I do with all somebody's like, I'm not going in there ring. I am not. That is not where I belong, you know. So great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. All right, let's see here. Joshua's up next. Joshua, Living Zed, and Lucas are coming up next. Joshua, are you ready? All right.
Let's do it.
There we go. All right, I'm gonna count you down in 3, 2.
Santino Brothers. The name is Joshua City. And I'll let y'all know right now, I'm lewd, crude, like to wrestle semi-nude, and damn it, I'm about to change y'all's attitude. Because I ain't here to be in the middle of the pack. See, I've been there, done that, and I didn't get nada for it. I'm ready to be at the top of the heat. And I know I look like a chihuahua in a pack of Rottweilers, right? But listen, I'm ready for you to take me for granted. I want you to. I'm begging you to not know where I'm coming from. Because once you do, this chihuahua's going to bite your ankles off and bring you down to my level. Because, yeah, I'm a hot mess, but I'm the best mess. And don't expect nothing less.
All right, 44 seconds, Joshua. Slow down. I'm gonna probably say the same thing, right? The biggest thing I thought, you know, I would have said, well, you say you rushed, right? Because I would have probably put some pauses in there. I don't think the pacing was rushed. To say. What my biggest takeaway is this: I thought the promo was really good. I like the you're a Chihuahua and a pack of Rottweilers line. I really dug that. I want your eyes and your facial expressions to match what you're saying. Remember, right? I know you're probably saying, man, but I'm doing it. Remember, this is pro wrestling, and everything is larger than life, and your character is larger than life. Joshua City, the character is larger than life, and I want to see the facial expressions to match that. And how would you do that? Is right, practicing this in the mirror. You know, practicing in the mirror, looking at your face, your facial expressions, just really just making different faces, even sometimes cutting a promo, or not even cutting a promo, just sitting in that mirror, making different facial expressions. What does this look? What's this look? You know, just really moving it around, getting used to it, you know, and then start throwing it in as you cut the promo. But I thought it was good. Where you're every promo that you've hit, you don't seem nervous whatsoever. You got that gift of gab to be. I can talk. I can. Hey, you want me to hold 5 more minutes? Yeah, I can talk for 5 more minutes if I have to. I feel that I could trust you if I had to give you a mic and say, hey, kill 5 minutes, man. I'm not ready for my match. But Brody, what did you think of Joshua's promo?
Josh, so I've seen a few of your promos now. I get like kind of like an Effie vibe from it. Maybe because you kind of look like Effie as well. But yeah, I mean, I like what you're going for. I like the hot mess thing. I do think that it was a little bit fast, especially the go home line. I think that was maybe your like kind of tagline, and I didn't quite get it. Like you kind of like blazed through it, and it was like a lot of rhythm. All I know that it all rhymed, but that was the only part that you really needed to like nail at the end. But yeah, I think that you know what you want to say, you know what you want to be. It's a good character. It's entertaining. You made me want to kind of know more about you, but you need to be more animated with everything.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna be like this sassy hot mess, you have to be fucking sassy. Like you have to be very animated with your hands and your head, and like everything else you do has to like match that intensity. But yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Brody. Slice, and then Coach Bob coming to you.
The accent was consistent. When you started speaking, you drew me in, but it was hard for me to keep up with what you were saying. You know, like the Chihuahua line had me laugh, but before I could digest it, you started going on to the next thing and on to the next thing. And I couldn't grasp everything you said. And maybe something that could help with that is maybe you're not the type of character who will pause, but maybe you could stretch out a word. Like you said, you're gonna take me for granted. I'm begging something. So maybe you could say, I'm begging, like stretch it out. I'm begging, like just instead of saying begging for half a second, maybe make begging last for 2 seconds. There's just different. I think there's different ways around it as far as speeding through or taking a breath. Because it doesn't work for every character. Every character is not going to take a breath. If you're a fast talker, maybe we got to keep up. You know what I mean? Also, your volumes kind of sounded the same, but I don't feel like you had reason to get excited. If it was an introductory promo, I like where it's going. I think just delivery and finding out your breaths or your maybe there's certain words that you're gonna stretch, certain things you're gonna say. It caught my attention. It was just a little too fast for me to digest everything you were saying. The Chihuahua self-deprecation is a good form of humor. If you make fun of yourself, people kind of tend to get on your side. So that could work for you. Just stretch it out a little. That's all I really got. I liked it. I struggled to keep up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a little nervous, and that's what ended up happening. I got nervous. I ran through it, and in the middle, I lost the word I wanted to say, and so I was just reaching for other words, which kept me from like slowing down and just talking about what I wanted to say.
But it all ended up rhyming and coming across as like fucking like a haiku. Like I can't even describe it. It worked. It was hard. It wasn't horrible. Like I wish I could make my fuck ups be smooth as that. When I fuck up, you're gonna know. So way to cover it up.
Bob.
Yeah. So here's what I come away with is that you clearly know how to memorize and say words. Like if you write, I can tell you know how to write a script in your head or on paper. You know how to like get it out there, right? You had the rhymes out. When I about 3/4 of the way, I'm like, this is coming off like a song. Like I almost want to like write a chorus to this because this verse is going great, and I want to break into the chorus. Brody, write down what he just wrote. We're gonna We're gonna make a song out of this. So that's the pro. Like, it's great. So that's why. If remember when I first gave you a critique, I was like, "This, you're the kind of like hyper spaz of your friends," and you were like, "Yep, I sure am." And then you hit on a nail on the head with me. You said Chihuahua. One of my favorite things that Chihuahuas are like small spastic dogs do is that whole like scamper and stop and stare and look at you kind of thing. Like if you're playing with it and you're chasing it, and it kind of goes. And then like runs off, right? Like that kind of thing. That study Chihuahuas doing that, because I feel like that's where you can allow what you said to give it a pop of air to like allow people to digest what you said, and then still allow it to rhyme, right? So you're like bouncing over here, you're going like ha da 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 ha 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 hey da 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 da, like, so that way you start stretching your character out and stretching the words out to give them a little bit more to depth to your character. Because if you're a spaz, you're the one going, look, ADD, shiny object, that kind of thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you. All right. Coming up next, we got Living Zed, Lucas, Martin, and Owen are the next three, starting with Living Zed. Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, ready.
Okay,
I want to just preface saying I plan to wrestle as a luchador, so I'm doing the class maskless so you can see for purposes, but.
All right, let's see it. Here we go. I'm going to count you down in 3, 2.
Why am I here? To hearken back to the days of El Santo, when a mask really meant something. It meant your life. It meant your head. And Penta El Zero Miedo, I'm coming for your head, for your mask. Because I am Living Zed, Lucius Von Grimley, a fate beyond death. And when I see you let your mask get ripped and torn, I want to see it get ripped off. And I'm going to be the one to take it. And with your head comes with it.
All right, 57 seconds. Right off the bat, I want more energy, either intensity, and then I'm gonna go right back to that facial expressions in the eyes. When you said something, I'm gonna take your head off. I think your facial expressions and your eyes needed to change, and maybe even pause a little bit more on that, because of what you're saying, right? I want your face and your eyes to match what you're saying, because it's so important. You seemed very
nervous.
Well, yeah, almost like I get the nervous, but you almost seem bored, right? We remember this is pro wrestling and want to bring it up and bring it larger than life. Brody, what are some of your thoughts on Philip here?
Yeah, for about everybody that we said to slow down, you need to speed up. There wasn't a lot of energy behind it, I felt. Why do you want to be a luchador?
That's what made me fall in love with lucha. I always loved pro wrestling since I was 5. It wasn't until Lucha Underground came around that I fell in love with Lucha Libre, and it was Penta that made me say I need to go for this dream, so.
Okay. Do you know Spanish at all?
Only can sing in Spanish. I'm learning to have conversation. I love Spanish music. I sing, like Ramon Ayala and like Vicente. So I like more old school. So
if you're gonna be saying if you're gonna be referencing people like Santo and stuff like that, you have to be able to know your history behind it, and you have to feel authentic. And I feel like if you are just a white guy in a mask, then every luchador is going to be like, the fuck, like why are we even wasting our time? So you have to like show them why
I
you're not a
don't
waste of time.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet because I don't have that. I used this reference another class ago. One of my favorite movies is Blood In, Blood Out, and the
Okay.
Miklo character and the way he wants to be in this culture that he doesn't look right for. And once he's in there, he not only wants to become it, he wants to make it better, and eventually he gets corrupted and he wants to take it over. But
Well,
I want to start as a good guy, but you know,
where are you from?
Southern California,
What part?
Burbank.
Okay, so drive like 15 minutes north to my neighborhood in Silmar, and then you'll really see a lot of Miklos walking around. You have to really like feel that vibe, and even Miklo spoke Spanish, and like he, you know, when he goes "Patos Locos forever," and like he feels it, and he's passionate about it, and like, you know, you have to, if you're gonna be this like white cholo, like you have to kind of earn that, and I feel like if you're not from the barrio and you're not from the hood, like you're gonna have a difficult time trying to like put that across. Like that's like a lifestyle that you're wanting to be, not just a gimmick. And you know, Slice and I were actually talking about this today on how certain guys, like the way that they walk or the way that they pose, like we can already tell that they're not a tough guy, or those are the guys that get smoked like right away, like in a fight, because they're fake. And you need to have a gimmick that's not phony. You know what I mean? Referencing someone like Miklo maybe is not the best.
I don't plan to reference him. It's just in the back of my mind. That's like I'm trying to accomplish what he accomplished, basically, you
know. Which is what?
Well, at first he just wants to get in with his family, you know, get in with the gang, and then it like I said, he's in there now, and then he gets corrupted, and he takes over, and he becomes kind of like a power figure, and he gets like the lust for power, I think. So
okay, so you want to earn the respect. Is that,
yeah, I know in the beginning, I'm basically at the beginning of the movie where Miklo's trying to get into Vatos Locos. So.
Okay, I understand. I still feel like it's going to be an uphill battle for you.
I will say, like I don't want to. It's something I need to work on getting across as real, because like I traded my car for an accordion because I love the music so much, so I could learn to play it. Like I've been down to Mariachi Plaza. Like I saw the Santino brothers show they had in Plaza de la Raza with like an art gallery with it, and it was, so I'm like I'm go to all these places. I'm in there. Like I went to the lucha tapings for all the seasons, like down in LA. So like I'm not I don't want to claim myself I'm not a phony, but like I don't want to come off as a phony, because I don't think I'm a phony.
No, I feel you, and I think that's just what you have to prove. And you know, obviously becoming very good at lucha libre is going to be the first step in that direction, which is not
well, like your moveset's actually like when I saw Pentagon, but like how you do it for a big man, you mix the lucha libre with like the strong style. Like definitely that's what I want to learn, is I want to come off as a good physical wrestler to go along with the character. So
okay, yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, the way that I was able to integrate more into lucha and like gain the respect from people like Phoenix and Penta, and like I've wrestled them, and you know, they're my friends, is by being very well versed in their culture and in their style of wrestling. And so when I'm saying like, you know, I can base you for anything, and like I can speak lucha to them and stuff like that, like that means more than anything. And then they're like, okay, you're my boy, like you're one of us. So that's, you know, where I'm saying like, you know, you don't have to be from the hood, but like you need to be well versed in that genre that you want to be into.
And like with Pentagon, I want to be like, he's Blue Demon, I'm El Santo. Like I want to be a rival one day, you know, like the opposite, to always just battle for history, you know, like throughout history. So
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Slice, what'd you think of Phil's promo?
Yeah, I thought there was like no energy at all. Like if you want to rip someone's head off, you're gonna be mad about it. Like you said, when it's like if it gets you mad that he lets his mask get ripped, let people. It made me sick. I let you got your mask get disrespect. It makes me sick. Well, you let your mask get ripped off, and I want your head to go with it next time. Like it's just unless you're like the queen of France or whoever was letting like her peers let them eat cake, they cut off. There's no reason for you not to be mad, about ripping someone's head off. Because it's not just another day in the office for you. It's you being infuriated with someone disrespecting Lucha, someone disrespecting the mask. If there's no fire between your character, like you want to be a white luchador, the only white luchador that I kind of know is like Sami Zayn, El Generico. And was he trying to be Mexican? Was he trying to be Mexican? And no, he had like an origin story where he's taking care of kids. It was outlandish, but why did it work? Because he's an insanely good wrestler. You know what I mean? Insanely good wrestler. He had a Mexican catchphrase. Was he speaking to people in full-blown Spanish and this and that? Not necessarily, but it's being a wrestler is hard enough. Coming up with a character is hard enough. But now you're trying to be like a white luchador. It's even harder. Not trying to dissuade you, but at least with the promos, we have to bump up the energy. Does Penta say zero miedo? No, it's zero miedo. Like he's being extra. We need some extra oomph out of you. I didn't get an attitude. At least what's this guy's name who kept saying every day? Every day he didn't have much energy, but at least he had an attitude per se. You didn't have any attitude, which is different from emotion, which is different from range and volume. I need something out of you. There was no life in the promo whatsoever. Zero life. I need something. I need something. Anger. I need something. Just think about that next time. Practice the same promo in the mirror, angry. Practice it sad. Practice it like you're in despair, like fucking, like it makes you want to go crazy. That someone, because you had zero emotion, and pro wrestling is all emotion. We could have a match where we just do one move, but the emotion is there. It's a good match. If people are just two robots doing fucking moves, who cares? You know what I mean? Let's get some emotion.
I usually I can build up my intensity with repeated like practicing, as you said, and I hadn't had a chance to practice it enough because I kind of wrote this promo as other people were doing the promo. I wanted to just come up with something on the spot, so something.
Yeah, I think it just maybe that's it. That it just came across you reading something you wrote down and you're trying to remember it instead of trying to deliver it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I get that totally. Thank you.
Hey, Chaos, I gotta go. I'll try to stop in like a class later on this week, maybe.
Okay, sounds good, brother. Thank you. Bob, what did you think of Phil's promo?
Sam, I mean, they hit the nail on the head. Everybody did. Just emotion, create a. Are you sinister? Are you pissed off? Are you right? I mean, I love what Boogie said about it's not another day at the office. We're just like, yeah, pull his head off. Another one. Next, like where's it coming from? Where's the fire coming from? So, again, we've moved. Everyone seems to be moved past we are all obviously knowing how to speak now. We all know how to say words. We all know how to remember things that come out of our head. That's what's making me feel good, is the fact that no one's like, it's all like starting to like come together, that you can piece together promo style, at least stylings, and the you're getting to like, all right, we're putting meat on the bone. Now we're gonna cook it. So get those emotions out. Create that story in your head. Why are you telling? Put the why into it. Why are you telling this promo? I'm pissed off. I have nothing to lose in my life. I'm a petty motherfucker. I don't know. Like, what's the reason? What are you telling me? What's the angle of the promo? So put the why in your promo, and that'll give you a direction.
Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you,
Thank
Bob.
you.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.
All right. Lucas, are you ready? We got
Yes.
Lucas, Owen, and Justin coming up. All right, I'll count you down, Lucas. Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
I'm not going to be a wrestler that's rolling around on a gym mat in sweaty, old, used headgear and a singlet. And I'm not just a little kid sitting in front of my TV in pajamas, wishing and dreaming I was something I will never be. I'm studying and training like the greats that I will surpass. Because I'm a realist. The realist professional wrestler. Lucas Martin. A little short.
Okay, look, yeah, you're about 39 seconds. Right. So now let's, like Brody said, I think it's a great idea now. Write that down. Start right. What are your lines? So that way when you feel you're a little bit short, you can put it in there. I wanted to comment. I watched your promo, your call out promo for Brody, or you're saying, do I need to, not Brody, Halston Body as a manager? And you know what I really dug? I really dug when you started out the promo and you were just like really happy. And you had all this emotion. You had most energy I've ever seen you in a promo, or just even talking to you. Then you flipped it, and then you brought this character who you bringing to us right now. This real sadistic kind of, like you told us, you've been bullied. You're not going to take it anymore, and you got something up your sleeve. You got something in your for all these bullies. I think that could have helped you here if you would have probably brought on that really makes me think that this guy is psycho, man. He's all happy. He's loving it. And then you brought it down and brought that mood down in that promo with for Halston Body. And I thought if you would have done that here, I think you would have given us a little bit more to work with. And I think it is it's a good contrast to this character of maybe having it to where in your conversation, it kind of, maybe you're snapping, maybe you're flipping on us. But I thought, yeah, just a little bit short. Other than that, I think maybe you try to play with that, that happiness coming in there, or that happiness, and then switching it. Right. You can hear the music in your head. If this were a movie, you could hear the music switch. And now all of a sudden the person you're talking to was very comfortable and not in fear. And now all of a sudden they're like, I know what's going on. This guy, right? And that's really what I felt in that promo when he did it with for Halston. So I would definitely explore that a little bit more. Slice, what did you think of my man Lucas's promo?
I like that you have an attitude. You're exuding that you think you're better than people. But also you gotta pay attention to what you say. I'm not gonna be one of these wrestlers rolling around on a mat. Every wrestler who's ever fucking lived since the beginning of time has had to learn how to roll on a mat. You know what I mean? Everyone. That's like saying I'm not gonna be a human who breathes air and drinks water. Yeah, you are. You know what I mean? So don't just say shit to say it if it doesn't make sense. I like that you tried to switch your intensity, taking the glasses off. That could be part of the character. Or even like Joe, I didn't get to see the other promo where you're happy. Maybe you could be happy, and then once the glasses come off, it switches into this guy we're hearing now, who thinks he's better than people, who doesn't like anyone. I see potential there. It was just short, and I like how you didn't say your name in the beginning. You waited till the end. That works sometimes as an introductory promo. But build yourself up a little more, maybe. Just your content has to be there. Sometimes delivery is important, but what you're saying is just as important. Um, uh, there's a lot to work with. I don't think it was horrible. I don't think it was bad. You're giving us a character, an idea. You're giving me, like, if I'm watching this as a fan, I'm like, all right, I don't really like this fucking guy. I want him to get punched in the face. I wonder if he is as good as he says. Is he? Maybe not. But you're giving us something to raise questions about.
Thank you, Bob. Coach Bob.
First off, don't listen to a thing Slice said. He sucks. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. No. Here's the thing. You had a very short promo, and if your promo was at 39 seconds, it was like you spent 28 of that telling us what you weren't. Maybe tell us what you are. Because I walked away going, well, I don't know what Lucas Morgan is. I know he's not this kid who watches TV on the floor, like whatever. I knew what you didn't do, but maybe I wanted to know what you do. Who are you? Right? Like, if you aren't that, why? Right? Why aren't you? You know what I mean? Like Slice said it best. Like you're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be the wrestler that runs the ropes. What? Like, okay, well, what are you then? Like, tell us what you are. That means, and that way you're selling a product. You're not, it's like, hey, you want to buy this car? This car doesn't come with a trunk full of cantaloupes. Like what? Okay, well, what does it do? Well, it doesn't fly. Okay, what else? What? You know what I mean? So maybe stick with what you need to say about yourself more. But either way, yeah. I like the idea that you saved your name at the end too, because that way you just drew into it. Didn't become an interview. My name is Lucas Martin, and I'm here to do these things. So
I think that's a great point, Bob. I'm not a car with a bunch of cantaloupes inside. Like, yeah, why are we even talking about then? That makes a great point. I like that you put it that way because I think a lot of us, right, when we do these promos, we always tell a lot of people what we're not, right? Tell us what we are, right? Why do we care you're not a car with full of cantaloupes? Right, exactly. So
Yeah, I think I
you.
was really just missing that like alluring intro to kind of bring everyone in. And what I meant with like the wrestling mat thing, I didn't mean as in a wrestling ring. I was meaning more as in a amateur wrestler who's like, that's why I tried to get that headgear and like singlet in there to kind of more to do with like a gym and like a student sort of thing who's just in wrestling class in like grade 8 or whatever.
So here's a way to say that. To make yourself look better, or like, I've graduated far beyond from the days of rolling around on a mat with headgear on. Like, you've advanced. You're beyond that now. You know what I mean? That's the way to say it without just being like, I'm not the guy who did this. Say that you are beyond that already. You have graduated past that point. So you're no amateur. That's the way to stretch that story out, make it something that instead of saying, I'm not that guy, you're light years, I'm light years beyond the guys who still roll around on mats with headgear on. You know what I mean? Like,
All right. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lucas. All right. We got Owen, Justin, and Omar coming up. Starting with Owen. Owen, are you ready?
All right, yeah, I'm just gonna do my Halston call out actually, just so I know.
Here we go. Right. And remember, when we're doing our promo, we don't have to tell us what you're going to do. Just do it. Just do it and let us catch it, right? Because when we see it when we see it on Monday Night Raw, they don't explain this is a promo about this, that you just kind of have to catch on, right?
Right.
All right, here we go. And 3, 2.
Halston, we have a problem. Well, you've been picked up on my radar. And now I want a match. A loser leaves town match. And best believe Heather Monroe won't be on your side. Well, she'll be hanging 15 feet above the ring in a fishbowl. And after I pile drive you on that pretty little head of yours, well, you'll be clutching more than your pearls. And when they count 1, 2, 3, and you're banished from championship wrestling from Hollywood, oh, well, you'll be begging for that job back at the radio station. Hosting body, prepare for war.
All right, 57 seconds. Let me ask you,
Please.
are you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
You are. I want to say, right, because you said I'm going to do the same promo.
Because I was watching.
wanna- I-
That's why.
yeah, that's probably what it is. But
I couldn't figure out how to turn them all off and shit.
in the video, right, that you filmed and you posted, you seemed more natural. You didn't seem nervous whatsoever. Here it seemed like you were very nervous to the point of now I'm forcing this character out. When I watch you on video, it seems like you are this crazy kooky character. This guy, this just Halston, we have a problem. Like really, here it seemed like you had a little bit difficult time doing it. That's right. This is where they come in and you know, practicing it, doing it live, doing it in front of people really helps you out. But yeah, I feel that really threw you off. So you just need more reps at doing this. Practice, because I've seen the character a lot better than this. I felt that's why I wanted to ask you first off the bat if you were nervous. Slice, what did you think?
So that's the first introduction to the character, and I liked it. It was entertaining, and I feel like it could that promo right there. Maybe the body language could be better based on what he's done prior, but from beginning to end, I didn't really have an issue with it. At one point, it looked like you looked down, maybe to check what you're gonna say, but I from a hearing standpoint, it wasn't noticeable. You didn't lose your voice, you didn't lose your character, and you painted a picture. Heather Monroe, 15 feet in a fishbowl above. Sometimes that's good. When you paint pictures, people can visualize what's going on. Because if you just say, I'm going to beat you up and this and that, if your character says, I'm going to beat you up, maybe we don't believe it. But if you're having a scaffold match with Halston, who's not a wrestler himself, now we could envision two managers going at it with Heather above. Is Heather like to the victor goes the spoils? Not necessarily, but you're just painting these pictures like in your head. I liked it. I haven't seen the other promos. I don't know if usually you I didn't even get really like you were too nervous, but just from a hearing standpoint, I thought you hit on all cylinders. I like the promo. I watched the promos online, but I thought it was pretty good. Volume was good, emotion was good. Doing these little hand gestures, maybe that's part of it. I don't mind. I liked it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Slice. Coach Bob.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. Like, again, I hope I wasn't throwing you off, but I was like, well, if he's gonna call me out, I'm gonna react. I'm gonna see how see if he allows me to paint the picture in my own head to react to. And you did. The minute you were like, I'm gonna put Heather Monroe in a sit, I was like, what? And I looked up, and you just in my head created an arena with at least 15 feet above the ring with a cage hanging above it. So you just painted the room for anybody at home. And then you said, instead of just what Slice Boogie said, instead of just you're gonna get your ass kicked or you're just gonna get beat up, you're like, I'm gonna drop you on your skull on your head with a pile driver. It's like, oh no. So everyone sees my bald head and it's vulnerable because there's no hair on it or nothing to protect it. So of course you're pointing at a body part that is like, right? But if like it's like, I'm gonna put you in your fat butt. Like people are like, yeah, but he's got padding. Man, it won't hurt so bad. But my cranium is wide open. Don't hit me with a chair, right? Oh, that's gonna hurt, right? So yeah, I didn't feel, I don't know if I didn't read nervous, but I just sort of got this, like, there was a frenetic energy to it again. So maybe that's what this is where you start practicing, start doing promos with people, like looking at them and see if like you can feed off their reaction to you, so good job.
Thank you. Thank you, Owen.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Looks like we got Justin, Omar, Jamal coming up next. Starting with Justin. Are you ready?
Yeah. Hold on. All right, I'm ready.
All right. I'll count you down in 3, 2.
My father was the runt of his litter, and I was the runt of his. So it's no leap in logic to say that I was the little guy. And everyone loves picking on the little guy. So I've been in more fights than I can count. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me whether or not I win or I lose all of these fights. I don't fight for gold or for glory. I fight for the sheer thrill of it. If my adrenaline isn't pumping in the middle of battle, I am not alive. My name is Xander Craven, and I'm going to turn every single last wrestling ring I enter into my own personal hunting grounds. And I will continue to do so until my final breath.
All right, Justin, 55 seconds on that. I thought the pacing of the promo, right? You hit your time perfectly. I thought the pacing was fine. I think you were trying to bring the levels up, switching the gears. I'm gonna go back to the facial expressions. You were at some points. I looked at 24 seconds. You actually scrunched your eyebrows a little bit. I want to see more facial expressions from you. I want you to match it, right? Remember, wrestling's bigger than life. Same thing I told them before. Go in that mirror and practice these facial expressions. Even practice the facial expressions, just the facials, just for pictures. Don't worry about the words right now, but just practicing and moving your face around, seeing what you like. Hey, because I always dug it when I took pictures. That was my shot to try to get on a DVD or a magazine. I was like just trying to, but I didn't know that until I was looking in the mirror and trying to figure out what looks the best. And I think that your facial expressions were lacking, and I want to see you bring that up a little bit more. Slice, what did you think of Justin's promo?
I like the intensity. I don't know if the origin story matched when you it's like you were bullied and then you fought and then now you want to be a gladiator. I think it was hard for me to keep up like with the story. It kind of went in different directions. But I like the idea. I like the intensity. I like the fact that you want to fight. Um, you're coming across as a gladiator, someone who wants to fight just for the like sheer pleasure of it, as opposed to having to fight. Um, you say you don't want to fight for gold. I don't know if you would say that in a wrestling promo, because at the end of the day, we all want the gold. We all want to be champ. We all want the money. We all want the payday. I think you just need to figure out, just as far as just being someone who likes to fight, bring something else. I like the fact that you talked about your father and you've been being doubted, but it's wrestling is not face heel anymore per se. It is and it isn't. But try to pick a side. Do you want us to root for you? Do you want us to root against you? What are you trying to portray, or as opposed to just being the neutral fighter? Because we have so many guys coming over from mixed martial arts who are the neutral fighter. You know what I mean? You can't. There's too many guys who just want to fight. Give us your motivations. Give us some more motivations as opposed to just wanting to fight. But I thought the delivery was good. You speak clear. based on where your character goes, you'll want to switch up your vocabulary, what matches him. But I don't think it was bad. I just think we need a little more substance to the character, where you want to take them, and that'll come as the character develops and what works, what doesn't work.
Got it.
Coach Bob.
Yeah, again, everyone is literally, we're all on the same board. Again, everyone knows how to say words. Everyone knows how to put a promo together. They know how to piece things together, and that's great. Now we're gonna just start layering that, just adding those layers. And I feel like I got vigilante. That was the word that came out of my head when I was listening to you. So start playing with that. If say what Boogie said about you're not here for the gold, get rid of the I'm not here for that. Turn it into the gold is just a bonus to the thrill of my hunt. You know what I mean? Like the gold is just a treasure that I get. It's a trophy, it's another trophy for my case in the lifelong, love of the hunt. Turn yourself into a hunter, a human hunter, right? You're that it's like the back in the Dirty Harry movies where like they're like, who's the killer on the subway, or am I gonna like be stabbed in Central Park? Is the killer gonna find me? I just watched that whole like the Night Stalker thing. Am I the next victim? Like that's your thrill of the hunt, but the gold is just another like just a trophy in your case. So yeah, but I like that. Just add emotion and add start adding. Now you're a vigilante, but are you a sinister vigilante? Are you an angry vigilante? Are you a revengeful? Like, what's the layer of the character?
Got it.
All right. Thank you, Justin. All right. We're going to be going about 5 to 10 minutes overtime. We got 3 more left. Omar, Jamal, and Lee are the final 3, starting with Omar. Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, just one more time. This is the camera right here, right?
I see your eyes looking right at me. Perfect. All right, here we go. In 3, 2.
Sorry. I was taking off the hands from my screen.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2.
Santino brothers, whether you like it or not, you're all about to be forced to find out what your limits are. Because when you step into the ring with me, Omar Ali, you are stepping into the ring with someone who understands pain. Someone who understands that the pain it takes to win is better than the pain it takes to lose. And that the pain it takes to lose comes to you. But the pain it takes to win waits for you. You have to go to it. And in every single one of my matches, I intend to go to that pain and make it all the way back.
43 seconds. 43. I feel like you got more to say. You could have filled that time.
Coach, I was very nervous for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you should be, because you know how to talk. What I want to say is my biggest takeaway from it, right? I think you said everything right. I think I don't know, maybe when you were trying to explain what you take away, I kind of lost me a little bit there. I think your pacing, you enunciate the words. My biggest problem, and this might just be me, I don't know. I want Slice and Coach Bob to tell me what they think. I think you come off as if we were booking a wrestling television show like for a sitcom, and you are the cliche pro wrestler promo. That's what I feel. I feel like it's just almost too generic. Even though you're hitting the words and you sound like a wrestler promo the way it should sound, it's kind of like in a match sometimes, and this happens to me, and it happens to the trainees, happens to a lot of people, is that you do everything right, but it just falls flat and it's just not connecting. That's
Coach, I knew from the start when I started it, I didn't hit it in the stride I wanted.
okay.
I recorded that same promo earlier today, and it came out way better. I was
Okay. All right, yeah, we got to get those nerves out. Slice, what did you think of Omar's promo?
Your face, I like your facial expressions. I don't know if it's like your camera has some like weird ass filter going on. I don't know what's, but
No,
it just, I don't know. It's just, you looked intense. You looked mad. You looked like you believed what you were saying. Um, but some of the dialogue did lose me. The pain that it was hard to keep up for some reason. It was almost like a riddle. And then you never brought it home for us to, I was waiting for you to say something that would bring it all home to help us understand like the final piece of the riddle, the punchline, and it just didn't come. Like it didn't happen. Your volume was good. Your attitude was good. Your facial expressions were good. We do need something else. I can't really put, like he was saying, it was stereotypical, stereotypical wrestler, stereotypical. I'm gonna be the best. I'm the champ. I'm gonna be the champ. I'm going. But like, go to the pain. What does the pain bring out of you? You never really told us. You said you're gonna go towards the pain. There was no payoff. You know what I mean?
I challenged myself with writing that promo today because usually it takes me forever to write promos. And I tried to like see, I was like, okay, what can I come up with a couple hours before class and just do it? And just, since this is a class.
Did you write it down and have something that you didn't get to say? Was there something at the end of it?
Two things. I would have paced it slower and I would have had way more feeling behind it, more believability behind it, because I knew like from the nerves from the start, I didn't have my full like believability behind it.
But I don't feel like that was the issue. I don't feel like the believability was the issue. When we say it was stereotypical, that doesn't mean it sounded like you didn't believe it. We mean like heard that before, been there, done that.
More time to come up with more lines.
Just nothing unique and nothing. Because you delivered it with conviction. You had a little, your teeth were showing, but we just there's nothing you said that I could actually remember. You know what I mean? The guy talked about Chihuahua. I'm not gonna forget that. You know what I mean? Kristen had some bloody cookies. I'm not gonna remember. I'm not gonna forget it. It brought, you didn't say anything that I'm gonna like remember tomorrow and maybe giggle about or remember. There's nothing there that's the pain, this and that. That whatever pain punchline you were trying to get across, you never brought it home. So work on.
To see any of my other promos? I'm curious.
No, I haven't seen anyone's like video previous promos.
Right.
So
yeah, Coach. Remember the comment you left about like being like typecast? I don't know if you got a chance to see my reply to it, Coach Chaos. But yeah, what I was finding difficulty with was in the minute-long promos that are just only about ourselves or like trying to be intro promos. I'm struggling with trying to get out of my comfort zone because it seems like a lot of the content I'm coming up with is either like very situational or in like promo battle context. So what happens is I resort to like this just being the motivational vibe kind of thing. And so that's what I'm struggling with. I have way more content that I want to use, but I'm struggling a lot with fitting it into this type of promo. That's
but that's what this class is all about, trying shit. No one's gonna cut 5-star promos every time. Like we're learning. I'm learning how to do promos now. There's guys who are signed who are learning to do promos. Probably can't speak. Just you have to try shit out and see what works. If you have to try something that's outlandish, completely different than your character now, try it out. It might work. It might not. You know
right.
What I mean?
That's
come up with something that's like 10, 15 second bit and it's good, but I can't find a way to like stretch it to have a theme for a minute. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right now, it just seems like what that promo you just cut is you trying to play it safe and you trying to spit what you think we want to, what you think a coach would want to hear from a safe point where you don't want to fall flat on your face. Where like the promo you cut, you're not gonna ever, no one's ever gonna say, oh, that's the worst promo I ever heard. But you're not taking a chance. to cut a promo that's gonna like knock someone's socks off or wow somebody. You're just trying to tell the basic story. And so come up with something different. Come up with something different. Don't give us the regular old story. Even and if it is the regular old story, it has to be delivered with some crazy ass accent, some crazy ass emotion, something. You know what I mean? Something has to be different, whether it's the accent, the delivery, the context, the character. Don't be a generic guy. That's what I gotta say.
Coach Bob.
Yeah, there's this level of like, I forgot. I was trying to remember half the promo this entire time because I was like, there was something about what brings you to the ring and the pain takes you from the. I couldn't remember how you weaved it, but it was like what I also got was this level of like, I felt like you were doing a great pitch, man. If I closed my eyes and listened to it without the words, it was like this, like, Saturday night, come on down. This is the way that this is gonna be the biggest wrestling match this ever says that. I got that from it, which was, again, you knew how to say words, you know how to pitch something, but I feel like I didn't get what your character was. Like, what are you talking about? So give yourself a direction. Remind me what your character name was again in the promo.
This is my name on the screen. Is my name.
Oh, Omar Ali. Okay, I didn't. For some reason, I blanked and thought for some reason you created a different name, but I'm Omar Ali. There's been a line of great Alis in this world. Muhammad, Tatiana, but I come from a different breed. Like, give yourself a direction, or a reason. What's your reason for being in wrestling? Was it being inspired to be, more athletic? Was that did you don't have to name check people. You don't have to like give homages to people to reason for wrestling or reason to get into the business or whatever. But take us somewhere. Why are you here? What is the picture you're painting? And I lost it halfway during your promo, and then afterwards I was startled. I was like, how did he say that again? He said something about coming into the ring and going out of the ring, and so Slice Boogie nailed it where it didn't pay off. So, but
did you get a chance to see my promo against you?
By the way, everybody, I apologize. I've not gotten to them. It's been a long weekend. I thought I'd have a lot more time on Saturday to sit around and like do them at the show, but I was busy boots all day long. So I will be getting to them. I will have critiques in them, and at the absolute latest before next class, so you can have more notes to work from for your next promos.
Okay, yeah, because that one had more like roasting and more humor. So yeah, I wanted to challenge you to come up with a quick promo.
Sure. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thank you for all the feedback.
You bet.
Thank you, Omar. All right, Jamal and Lee are the next two coming up. Starting with Jamal, you
Good
ready?
night, everyone.
All right, good night, Joe. You take care, brother.
Bye.
All right, Jamal. Here we go. I'll count you down in 3, 2.
The scriptures proclaim that someday the last shall be first. I've been last for as long as I can remember. Here in the city of angels, sitting in the shadow of kings, I've been lost in a sea of sin and mediocrity. But as I roam this new land of giants, I want the crown. And only then shall I no longer be lost or last. No more mediocrity, for I am divine. Divine Toussaint. So let the burials begin. Salvation is at hand. My hand.
45 seconds, Jamal, on that one. I I like your promos. I like the intensity. It definitely does remind me of Jake the Snake, just being real low tone, but really capturing my attention. I like the arm movements. I thought your facial expressions, you could up those a little bit more, in my opinion. And I want to see maybe some more gear changes. You started going about 25 seconds, you came up to your highest, but then you stood there. And so you're about here, then you went to here and stood there. I'd like to see you maybe just try to, even if it's a look, if it's a stare, if it's a pause for a moment to make us think, bring that intensity, bring that, and that'll turn that gear up even without you saying a word. So I would practice on working on that. Slice, what did you think of Jamal's promo?
I liked it. You obviously went short, but I thought you still took your pauses. You weren't rushing through. You were taking deep breaths. You were making every word count, and that's important. Tell your story a little more. Um, maybe is salvation at hand gonna be your catch, your go home, or did you just throw it in there? It was just
One of them, yeah.
yeah. So if you're gonna like
I cut off too much, I second guessed myself, so I cut off too much because I didn't want to go past a minute.
yeah, sometimes just go, just go. If he has to cut you off, he'll cut you off, and we'll know what worked. We can't judge what didn't work if you didn't say it. You know what I mean? And we can't tell you that was good. You might have cut off the best thing you were gonna say. You know, just
If the promo, right, if you got us on that promo, we'll let you go. We'll let you go. We're gonna say, hey man, you can go a minute 20. We're gonna cut Chaos's promo to 40 seconds. You know what I mean? Like if it's good, we'll let it go and we'll air it, even though we're asking only for 60 seconds. Don't be afraid to ask for permission. If you can go over, just say, man, I'm sorry I went over, but I needed to get this out. It's 5 to 10 seconds. You know where you're at to close it. Just don't let it go short. Sorry, Slice.
yeah. But there've been times where they give us 30 seconds for promo, and I might have went 40, and then I'd be like, I could try it again and cut this out. They're like, nah, we keeping the whole 40. You know what I mean? And then maybe if I didn't have that extra 10 seconds, the promo wouldn't have been as good. So, did you freestyle this or did you prepare it?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, because it didn't sound like you were reading a script either, which I thought it was pretty good. If you're able to keep that consistent delivery while getting your point across or whatever you wrote, what you were planning to say, and then freestyling a little bit, that's gonna come in handy in the long run. And if it doesn't sound like you're just improvising but not staying consistent with the character, then it doesn't work. But I thought you kept your consistency throughout. I thought it was good. Just be aware of your times. Give us more. In promos, sometimes I don't want to say more is more, less is more, but this is practice. Take a shot. Are you gonna get kicked out of class for going 5 seconds over? Fucking no.
Right.
Just give us some. Just go for it. This is all just practice anyway. Just go for it.
Bob.
I kept saying to myself, I wish I feel like the promo would be better if you were able to stand up and move around. Like it's like sitting at a desk or, having your arms down, your body language can sometimes steal your energy. So if you had time to exalt and say things, and give things more emotion too. Even if you're doing the Jake the Snake or you're doing that sort of low intensity, bring it in, then that's the allowance to slow down. Give yourself more long intensity. Like it's the difference between saying this is a radio trick. This is how you describe things. If you want to do voiceover work for commercials on the radio or on broadcast where there's no pictures or visuals, you got to paint a picture with those words. So it's the difference between saying, remember we talked about getting into the hot tub? Was everybody here for getting into the hot tub? When I was in radio, you're supposed to speak like yourself. You're supposed to, 94 WKTI, this is Bob Canning, You're gonna hear the hits of the 80s, 90s and today. Great, right? But then you get into the hot tub. But it's like the difference between saying, you should come over to you should come to Carl's Jr.'s for a juicy cheeseburger. Juicy cheeseburgers are 59 cents. They're great. You should do you like juicy cheeseburgers? I like juicy cheeseburgers. Juicy cheeseburgers are great. We're saying you should come on down. Get a juicy cheeseburger. Right? You can almost taste that melted cheese. Oh, that juicy cheeseburger, right? You get that emotion behind it. So as somebody, is trying to give that sinister or that sort of like, I'm confident as a preacher, giving you the sermon today. I'm gonna put those words behind it. And you just paint start putting color in that brush and paint it like that. So
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Jamal. All right. Last but not least, last is the main event in pro wrestling. Lee, are you ready? All right, here we go. I'm going to count you down, Lee, in 3, 2.
Raised by a record player from Studio 54, live from the greatest house of dance. Thank you, Mr. Campbell, for making me a man. I am the godson of soul, John Slambalak, the funkadelic, psychedelic genius, both in the ring and on the dance floor. So if it's an 8 count or a 3 count, Santino Brothers will be on lockdown when I come through. Cause I got soul and I'm super bad. Watch me.
All right. Lee, 35 seconds, so very short. You had a lot of energy in there, right? More practice, more reps over and over and over to really get that that promo down to start hitting your time. So you had a problem, right? 35 is going to be way too short. I could still work with it, have somebody else go longer, but that's I need you to be able to hit your time, slow down. Were you nervous?
Semi. I felt like because I heard the less is more a lot, and so I omitted a line that went like I'd be looking so fly walking down the Soul Train line, and then I just felt like that didn't make any sense. So like with what I was gonna say in terms of like the direction I was going, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you had a flow to it. You had a flow. You were able to get it out there. You had something to say. I get what you're saying. I was really lost. I didn't know where I was going with that. Maybe work on the lines that you have. Maybe utilize those as your go home lines, right? So when we're talking and we're kind of feeding what we're gonna say, and now all of a sudden, man, my mind goes blank. I know my go home lines like the back of my hand, and I can just take it home. I get it. We might be short. Better to be short, right? And I think this is what Coach Bob was talking about also. Like nobody's stopping. Nobody's going at like 35 seconds saying, "Wow, I got nothing else to say." I mean, that was me. That was me. I'd be like, "Oh, I messed up. Let me try it again." Everyone's here. They're getting put on the spot. And for the most part, we're actually cutting the promos, whether they be short or not. You're at least getting through it. Yeah, I think really, Lee, you need right now. I've seen maybe the 3 promos that you cut. I think the angry and the happy promo. Or did you cut the 30-second, the 15-second, and the minute?
I turned that in today because I had finals last
Okay.
week, so I wasn't able to do that. That also includes the Halston body promo in it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because I think I haven't seen enough promos, so which tells me just more reps, more practice, cutting these promos in the mirror with your timer. As you look in the mirror, you look at yourself, you cut that promo. Then when it's over and it's finished, you walk off and you look at your time and you go, damn, it's too long, too short. Add something else in there. Breathe a little bit. Hit your time. Hit it again on fire. And then, right, never like keep looking at your time because I just cut your promo. See what fits and what doesn't. Then go back and look at your time when it's all done. Then you start feeling it. Then you would only have to look at the time no more. You know the words that fit 60 seconds, at least for this promo, Slice, what did you think of Lee's promo here?
I don't know if it's like your mic or the filter, but if you sounded like real far away, and it sounded like you were like out of breath, like as soon as you started, almost like you weren't able to let your words out. It just sounded weird to me. Like you were struggling to get everything out, and you wanted to spit these like different one-liners, funkadelic, psychedelic, but you didn't even really like tell a story. You didn't really cut a promo. You're just saying these weird one-liners. You're a dancing man. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. I was just lost. I don't feel like you cut a wrestling promo. Everyone has said, my name is Boom. I'm here for this, whether it's generic or this or that. You didn't tell us a story. You just, you know, I think you have to work, just learn. All right, wrestling promo. Who am I? Why am I here? What the fuck am I? What am I about? You know, the preacher man is here to bring salvation. Kristen is here to say she's menacing. Jack Farmer, he's had enough of my bullshit. Owen is gonna beat Houston up. You know, everyone had something to say. Sean Singh, every day he's getting better. You didn't. You just said you're dancing. You didn't bring any point across at all. So that's the point of a promo. What we're like. Don't be nervous. It's not the end of the world. But a wrestling match is a wrestling match. A wrestling promo is a wrestling promo. You don't have to follow a specific script. You don't have to say your name in the beginning, the middle, or end. But you didn't cut a promo. I don't know what you just did. I can't really comment. So maybe just work on cutting a beginning. I haven't seen your other promos. Work on a 60-second miniature story. What you're here for, what your name for, what your name is, and build on that. If you were sounding nervous, like you weren't breathing during, I don't know. That was just me. Maybe I just don't have familiarity with the character, but that's just from what I saw, like from what I heard. It was like 35 seconds of mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. Now that you while you were saying that, I was like reading what I wrote, like, and I was just like, yeah, this really didn't make any sense. So thank you.
Coach Bob.
This didn't really make any sense. No, what's funny is I was like, oh, this dude's like trying to do some like 70s DJ Wolfman Jack. Hey, bippity boppity boo. Hey there, boppers. It's the Razzmatazz dance machine on the, like I got that kind of like, that's where I was expecting it to sort of go, but then it didn't go anywhere. Yeah. And it just became a catchphrase party of like, I'm a funk machine, and it was like Bootsy Collins coming up with rhymes. So again, what is the aim of your character? Who are you? What are you? What are you becoming? Like you'll just have to start creating that character like it's WWE 2K21. What is are you a dancing machine? Are you Gene dancing machine? Is that your wrestling character? Is this hippity hoppity hip boop ha? Hey ha ha! Like what? So yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, 35 seconds. Oh man, you had so much time to talk about things and yourself, and you just talked about catchphrases.
So practice, Lee. Thank you, Lee. All right. I appreciate everybody staying 15 minutes over. We're going to officially end the class. But before we do that, make sure. So we're coming back Wednesday, right? Second to last day. And we're going to do promos. It's going to be promo battles. I'm actually going to put the brackets up of who you will be cutting a promo on in the first round. So on and so forth. So you can actually have, I'll do my best to get it up by no later than tomorrow morning. So you have at least a day or two to at least work on the first promo going into it. A lot of people had fun with these promo battles because it's a lot of improv. You can have your 30 seconds, you have your 60 seconds ready to go, and it keeps going. And you can tell when people have their 60 seconds and they cut it and it's over, they got nothing else to say. So this is really going to help your improv. And some of us will get slayed, and that's going to be okay, right? Because when we fail, that's the learning blocks, the learning to success. That's the way we're going to find success, is by how many times we fail. And don't reach it, so we can finally reach the pinnacle. Okay, guys. So I'll put that in the notes. I'll put that also in the notes. Some of the reoccurring critiques that we had, the coaches that we had on these promos, so that it will help you out. And so you come back on Wednesday, and then we end it with a Q&A on Thursday. So, all right, everybody. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming in, tuning in on this Monday, doing the promos. Appreciate it. Santino's on 3. Santino's on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Santinos.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Let's watch some Monday Night Raw. Some AEW.
Thank you, everyone.
Dark.
Good night, everyone. Have a good
And
night,
I
everyone.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Night, guys.
Thanks
Good
for your
night.
time, everybody.
See everybody on Wednesday.
Great job, everyone.
Awesome.